a lot of times when we're going through tremendous change, when we're going through upsetting, unforeseeable, unexplainable things, we spend a lot of time, particularly for creative people, creating scenarios, right? Creating things that might happen. And our brains are churning away at that. Our inner critics are churning away at these sort of prognostications, these projections, let's say, projections into the future of what's going to be. There's something about drawing that breaks that cycle for me, and probably for you too if you try it, which is it stops you from thinking about the future or dwelling on the past, but living just in the present. And a lot of times, no matter how difficult things can be, thinking about just this moment of us sitting here with each other, sketchbook in front of us, computer, iPad, whatever it is, we're here and we can say, I'm okay right now. I'm okay. Because drawing, particularly when you're drawing from observation, you have to look now. You have to be here present. You have to be looking at what's in front of you. You can't be thinking too much in a way, too. You can't be allowing your brain and your imagination to layer on things onto your observation. You can have just pure Zen of the moment experience, and you're just seeing what is. And what is okay. What will be, we don't know. But what is okay. So that's what it does for me. That's what I've been doing. I've been sitting in my garden drawing. And, you know, when I feel that feeling here in the pit of my stomach, right, just this point, right, where my ribs join, I'll feel that thing, or I feel it in the back of my neck, you know, and it's just this sense of fear and hopelessness. So anyway, you know, it is, as Debbie says, it is like meditation. It is meditation. It's not like meditation. We're meditating, and what we do with meditation is we quiet our brains, we quiet our minds, we quiet the inner critic, that jabbering monkey in our heads. And instead we say, you know what? When I am able to look objectively at this thing that I'm going to draw, I'm also able to look objectively at this moment in time. I'm able to look objectively at me.
Well, hello. My name is Joanne Farrell. I am here at the beautiful First Reformed Church of Albany, and this is the Shirley Farrell Art Center, Art in the Park. And this is a replacement for Cleo. There's a story behind that as well, but I'll tell you about that later. Today we are out here and we are offering free art lessons and supplies. And anyone who wants to come here, they can access paints, beads, yarns, different mediums, and we'll have a new medium every week. We are going to be here every Friday in the afternoon. Now today, not really busy because it is 94 degrees outside. That's why I have the umbrella, and with a heat index, it feels like 108. So we are passing out free water and a few snacks for people who might be hungry or desperately thirsty in this heat. Now, the Art Center is designed to help people in need who would like to make beautiful art, but art supplies are expensive. and it's hard to come by. Even a little small package of beads is tens of dollars. So we're offering these free supplies and a free opportunity. And even if they want some training, they can get it free from me. My mother, Shirley Farrell, was a local artist, and she worked in this area in the Rensselaer County community and the Albany County community for many years, and she sold many paintings over the years. So I was trained by her, and that gave me a great interest in art. Since my mom passed away in 2019, she and I had always talked about opening up an art gallery, but I thought something for people in need, people that are struggling and struggling families, would be something that she would really appreciate. So we're starting out as an art center. Since COVID, we were unable to use the indoors of the building, but that is probably a likely possibility down the road. We're not able to do that right now during COVID. We're trying to be safe. As you can see, I have hand sanitizer, masks, and we do take the pandemic seriously. But in this heat, people are in need of more of art. So we're also trying to pass out food as well as art supplies, and more than anything, cold ice, cold water. Now, if you look around, you can see some of the pictures that have been made by people who have come for the last couple weeks to make art. Here's my umbrella. And here is one of them that was made by somebody who came. And that is their vision of a garden. Now, this park is frequented by many people who are homeless and who have issues with homelessness and landlessness. So we try to make them feel comfortable and welcome and not be judgmental about anything about their life. If they'd like to share something about their life, I will share, but we don't pry about anything. We just offer, and that's about it. Like this. Hi, would you like a free cup of ice cold water?
Yes.
All right. This is Art in the Park at First Church. And we will be here every Friday, so feel free to come back. We'll have snacks and cold water. And if you want to try your shot at making some beautiful art, we have all the supplies that you could want. Would you like some hand sanitizer?
No, that's fine.
Alrighty. There you go. Oh, no, it's free. We don't charge. No charge. We're not selling water. We're just trying to keep people from having a stroke in this heat.
Thank you, ma'am.
You have a wonderful day, ma'am. So, as I said before, today, passing out free water is probably a lot more important than doing art. It feels like it's 108 degrees and I am sweating terrible. And my husband is here today and he's been helping me with this project. Let's go over and see what he's painting. He is really into modern art, and this is something he's working on right now. Tell us about your picture, John.
I'm just doing a modern art scene, and I'm thinking about how hot the weather is. And actually, I'm thinking about, the sun and how intense the heat is, and that's what I'm coming up with. So, and I'm enjoying doing it, and it's a great thing to be out here doing the art,
Well, let's have a seat and see what John's painting and let him tell us all about it. John, why is art so important to you?
It's just a form of expressing myself, and it de-stresses me and stuff. And I really enjoy all the colors. You can see the colors in this picture. I really get into the color combinations, and I just doing it, you know.
Do you think that during COVID, you and I have both done a lot of artwork? Do you think that's been really helpful for people to de-stress in these times?
Definitely. I think I suggest that to anybody who, you know, wants to do art. It will definitely help you mentally too, and you know, it helps you during the tough times. You know.
I know I felt overwhelmed throughout this pandemic, that I just didn't feel like myself, and being able to express myself that way, especially in the winter. Do you remember in the winter when we were doing art
yes.
indoors?
Yep.
And when we were stuck in all that time.
Yeah. And just starting it, you know, getting the paints out in the paper and everything. And then once you get started, you get into it, you don't want to put it down, you know. I mean, it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, I found that too. Like, it takes me a while to get started, and sometimes I'll have an art project and I'll put it off because when you have something that's like work, and then it's, you know, an agenda that you need to finish and something you need to accomplish. But once I get going, it's like I can't stop. I'll like have a painting and I'll paint the whole painting within a week, and when I could do it slowly over time, but I just get really into it like you do. And there are sometimes we've been sitting in our dining room and he's doing his modern art and I'm doing landscapes and things like that, and the two of us are working and we're not even really talking to each other. We listen to music a lot while we're doing art, and it's a lot of fun, and it's stress relief. You remember how it was before we started doing that? We were driving each other crazy, you know, in quarantine and everything. So this was really a big help for both of us, I think. So why don't you tell everybody out there how you got started doing art? Because I had a background in art and you really didn't, but now you're phenomenal. I love your work, and you've been doing so much of it. Maybe you could tell everyone how you got started.
I got started when you gave me that, you know, you told me, you know, just give it a shot. You know, what were you good at in school too? And I started thinking back. I like to doodle and with colors and stuff, and once I started doing it, I just felt like the modern art was the thing I really loved to do, you know.
Now, when was the first day you ever did a picture of modern art?
I was at the dining room table, and I took out, you know, sketch pad and paint. Actually, it wasn't paint, you know, it was pencils. I started with, you know, the modern art.
Right,
So,
I forgot.
and that's the first one I did. I remember it. I think it was musical notes. I did was my first one.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was really, really good.
Yeah.
That we have that in your collection of ones that are framed.
Yeah.
So maybe next time we can show some of your work here that we've done over the last few years.
That would be cool.
The reason that I started the art center is I thought it would be something really special for people to de-stress, especially during these times, and also have an outlet of self-expression that's kind of like snuffed out in our society. Even with children, there's so much expected from them. They have morning program, they have school all day, sports, after school programs, summer camp. It seems like there's always something expected from them. And this is a place they can come and just let loose. They can just draw and paint or work with other mediums and just totally express themselves. I don't try to encourage them to do anything other than what their heart desires. And I think that's really important to do today. And that's kind of how, John, you got started out. You remember that time that we went to the, with our son Jesse, and we went to see the modern art exhibit. And what did you think of that when the first time you saw it?
I felt I didn't like it at all, and I thought, you know, it's not really art. You know, you do landscape. I figured that's art. People that do portraits, but that kind of modern art, I was like, that's not really art.
And then what did my mother tell you about modern art?
You know? Yeah. it's very popular, and there's people sell it for a lot of money. And stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Now, how many years have you been working on art now? I'm thinking maybe 7 or 8.
I would say probably it's longer than that. It was when I left Hanny's, so it was about 13 years now.
Wow, that's true. I had to think about that. But I love your work, and next week we'll have to bring some more because you have some really phenomenal pieces. And it seems to be a very exciting form of art, and people are very interested in modern art and stuff that's not so rigid and defined, and it has to look photographic and it has to look like something. And with modern art, it can be anything that you want it to be. And I think that's really, really cool. And it's very bright and cheerful. And I think one of the other things about art is to encourage people to do art and to encourage them to learn about art is to be able to learn to express themselves, to speak up, to speak out. And a lot of people today just go with the flow, go with the norm. Whatever they're told to do, they just follow. And they don't have their own voice. And art helps you find your own voice. That no one else can dictate to you, no one else can tell you how to do it. It's your own self-expression, and people really need that today. Politically, that's a good thing as well. So we're walking up to the butterfly garden. One of the members of our church named Shirley works on this for many years now, and she does an absolutely beautiful job. As you can see, there's a lot of plants in here that attract pollinators, and that is really, really important today. And First Church has always been a very progressive church ever since years ago when Bill Cameron ran this church. It's always been in the direction of progressive movements. They had a history of the No Nukes movement. They were part of that. They always had a food pantry, distributed food. They had a Christmas shop to be able to offer, low to no cost Christmas gifts for people in the community. And they really have tried to do a lot of things over the years. So I wanted to mention my mom. My mom was one of the many elders that served in this church, and she worked really hard. She was part of the children's programming. They had a program called the Children's Olympics. She was one of the people that were on that committee. And the children would do art. Every summer that they had a summer program here for children, she would be part of that. She'd be sitting in the corner in the downstairs area and with her easel painting pictures and teaching children how to paint. Many, many years before that, they used to have tables at Arbor Hill Community School over on Lark Drive, over by Whitney Young Health Center. And in the summer, they would set up the tables over there and do crafts with the kids. So that's how she got started in the church back then. And I wanted you to know another thing about my mother. She had had a lot of adversity in her life, and one of the things that she did to try to help support her family was she used to sell her art. And she would make a little box of paintings, and back in the 70s and 80s where painting on velvet was popular, she would have little pictures of birds, cardinals, blue jays, things like that. And she would take cardboard, use recycled material, cut up old skirts that she didn't wear anymore, and use that velvet or velour and felt to cover up the cardboard, and then make these beautiful little velvet pictures. And she also took orders to try to find more money to pay for food and groceries and supplies. For quite a few years, she was a single mom, and so she had a great feeling for people that struggled in life, and that was one of her best qualities. So I'm trying to follow in those footsteps and do a charity that can benefit people that don't have a lot of money. And nowadays, art supplies are a lot more expensive than they were when my mother was painting. So I think this is something that could really benefit everybody. And they get to come here. Eventually, I'm hoping to be inside if this all works out. And inside this beautiful congregation This is the oldest congregation in the Albany area. It's not from, the congregation started in the 1600s. However, this building was built in 1798, post-revolutionary period. And it has the oldest pulpit and weather vane, I believe, in the whole country. And it dates back to the first Dutch settlers that came here and founded this city. It has balconies upstairs. Traditionally, in historic times, those were where Native Americans and people of color sat, which is kind of shameful. But today we have an African American minister who leads this congregation, and I love her so much. She is Pastor Walston is a very motivated, energetic person, and she also has a way of delivering a sermon that's so positive. So you don't feel like, hey, I'm here being judged by a bunch of people that are only care about money. You're probably not going to find that in this kind of community. Most of the people that I know support social justice and social justice reforms here. So they support me and what I'm doing, and they support lots of other initiatives in this community. A lot of people have asked me, how can they become involved and how can they help? Well, it's hard. I have a lot of people offering supplies. I don't really need a lot of supplies other than paint right now. I have lots of supplies. When my mother passed away, she left me a lot of her art supplies. And so I have an easel, I have lots of paints and things like that. But we can always use more paint, but not really other supplies. I have crates of yarn and crates of string and sewing materials, more than I can fit in my room. But what I really need is for people to get involved donating snacks and helping to pass out things like water, and maybe in the fall, school supplies, and put in art supplies in with those school supplies. If you're back at home and you have these backpacks that your kids didn't use anymore and they're still in really good condition, well, throw a couple of packs of paper from the dollar store or something, and maybe a package of pencils, and then throw in a few art supplies. You might even have them laying around your house. How many people out there could go around your house and find tons of crayons, tons of pens, tons of erasers, and things that your kids don't use anymore? You could probably zip them up in a little makeup case or a Ziploc bag and tuck them into those backpacks. That's something that would be really good to have in the fall. For the next few weeks here in the summertime, what we need are drinks, water, and snacks and food. So if you're someone who's interested in making some sandwiches and bringing them down, I could throw them in my cooler, and that would probably be really helpful for some of the homeless people here that use this park. So here we are back at the water station. And I was also going to say, how can you get in touch with me if you want to get involved? Well, there's two ways. You can contact the First Reformed Church here in Albany, First Church Albany, and that's 518-463-4449. Or you can contact me on Facebook and just send me a Facebook message, Joanne Farrell. I can also contact you back and it doesn't show your phone number. So that's like a really good way to communicate publicly, is to use those social media telephones. And then that way people are more comfortable talking and don't feel like someone now has your phone number and they're going to call you all the time. So that's how you can get in touch with me, and I'm really hoping more people become involved.
This is a great program for the city of Albany, and for anybody else that want to utilize it, come on down. And we're here every Friday, and we're here, to do art.
And today is a really hot day, and one of the things that I love most about being in here in downtown Albany is there's a lot of need here, and times are tough. And doing something as simple as passing out cold water, I feel like it's really helpful. Who knows? We might be saving someone's life that come down dehydrated down the street. And having snacks and water to pass out to people is really important. And I know there's a growing level of homelessness, and we don't know what's going to happen for the future. These people who are running out of their time in their apartments, and if there's going to be mass evictions. So, you know, having that extra food, most of the people that come by, if they're not working, they're looking for a job. And they're going around to stores and they're trying to see if they can find a job down here. And, you know, in this world of computer technology, not everybody gets hired that way anymore. You know, most of these people need things that our generation didn't need to have years ago. So they're down here, they're hungry, or they're looking for work. And being able to offer them something on a hot, hot day like today, like cold water, is really important. So I hope you come out and be part of the solutions. Well, bye for now.
Hope to see you soon.
Come on down.
Well, welcome back. I'm still trying to bake the muffins. But finally, I think we're finished. I hope you enjoyed our show today. If you would like to make an order or donate muffins to charity, then please go to the website listed below. With every muffin order, we donate muffins to the charity of your choice. I call it giving your dough to charity. I also encourage you to donate directly to the featured charity today by going directly to our website and getting their information. Thank you very much for watching, and keep on dancing through life by giving to others through love. Let me finish baking these muffins, and see you next time.